Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Danny. This is a boxing betting tip show for the big fight this weekend between Canelo Alvarez and John Ryder. Undisputed super middleweight championship on the line in Guadalajara. Canelo fighting back in Mexico. Danny, thanks for joining me. I know you like a flutter every so often, as do I. First question is general thoughts on this fight. What do you think is going to happen on Saturday night?
I feel as if I'm looking forward to the fight slightly more than the consensus seems to be online. Certainly over in the States, I think John Ryder's been pretty badly disrespected. I know certain British fighters have given a better account of themselves than others against Canelo and in the States in recent years, but John Ryder's a worthy challenger. You know, he's got that WBO interim title. He's had sort of up and down career in terms of luck and performances, but obviously in terms of levels, I don't think I'm being remiss in saying they're based on what we've seen as a pretty clear one between John Ryder and Canelo. But like in that super middleweight division, okay, you take away Plantin Benavidez, just fought the other one. You've got David Morrell, Demetrius Andrade. I think John Ryder's got better wins than him in his career. And aside from that, who are you looking? So I think it's definitely a worthy opponent for Canelo, and it's a fight I'm looking forward to. Huge opportunity for Ryder as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's an interesting time in Canelo's career. He's had over 60 fights now. He's maybe, some people would say, he didn't look amazing in his last fight against Golovkin. Obviously, kind of got dealt with against Bivol, the fight before that. And you would think if Canelo is to win on Saturday, the next fight is going to be a big one. And how is that, whether that's against the rematch against Bivol, maybe David Benavidez. How does he look before that, going into that fight? We'll have to see. On to the betting tips, Danny. We've got one each. I'll let you go first. What is your betting tip ahead of Saturday?
So my pick is Canelo Alvarez to win a decision at 4-1. I think it's a really good price. I think we have seen the best of Canelo. I think although he won the Golovkin fight convincingly, that was a shell of Golovkin at 40 years of age, and I know Golovkin ended up fighting quite negatively, but at no stage did Canelo really look like he was going to stop him. And I'm not saying he's like massively on the decline as of yet. We'll maybe see more of that on Saturday. I just think that he sort of peaked around the Saunders, Callum Smith, Caleb Plant, that Yildirim fight in between there, and I think just he's had a long career. He's getting on 60 odd fights now, and like it sort of was always said about Wayne Rooney as a footballer, he was playing week in, week out in the Premiership from like 16, and Canelo's been fighting professionally since 15. So I know he's 32, 33, but you can add an extra 3 or 4 years in terms of sort of miles under the belt. And I think you should still have enough to defeat John Ryder. And I think Ryder will come to win initially without a doubt, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into survival mode, maybe after 5-6 rounds. And I just don't know if Canelo will be able to stop him. And I think it's maybe 50-50 in my head, whether he'll stop him sort of in the second half of the fight or winning points. But with that match, you've got to back the 4-1, don't you? And I think it's a pretty good price.
Yeah, I think like the way I bet, it's not necessarily like, it's not a prediction. It's where the value is.
Yeah.
And 4-1 for Canelo to win on points against a very tough John Ryder. This is Canelo, who a lot of people thought he was going to stop Golovkin in his last fight. Didn't stop Golovkin. Obviously, didn't stop Bivol either. And yeah, I think a lot of people are saying what you're saying about Canelo being past his best. And I think if that is true, not being able to stop John Ryder could be an example of that.
Yeah.
Keep things short. My betting tip, I've kind of had a little look, and I'm seeing a boost of Canelo Alvarez to win in one's round to 6 at 5-2. I think that if you look at kind of like the bookies seem to like Canelo to wins at round 7-9 here. I'm seeing odds of only 2-1 from to wins round 7-9, which is pretty short. I don't see Canelo winning inside 3 or 4, but I think round 5, round 6, when you might see the big difference in class there. Yeah, I think rounds 5 or 6 is when we could possibly see a stoppage there, and I cannot turn down rounds 5 to 2.
Yeah, no, I can see that if we do see something like the best version of Canelo Alvarez, potentially the fact it's his first fight in Mexico since what 2011, could go one of two ways. It could improve his performance, could be that he says, you know what, I'm making a statement here. I want to send this place nuts, or not going to say the pressure gets to him, but it's an extra factor, the extra media through the week. So no, it's an interesting one. Obviously, only one of us will be celebrating here with that, but it's not a bad price. It's definitely better than, because when I was looking, I thought the odds on a later Canelo stoppage were, as you say, pretty poor.
Yeah. I fine. Yeah, I think we'll just round things off, Danny. I know you mentioned the possibility of a late Canelo stoppage there. If you had to pick a round to put a 5 which round are you liking at the moment?
9 just sort of popped into my head as you say that, which is, I think, ironically, the shortest price round, or certainly one of them. Because that's sort of around the time it comes, wasn't it? And Caleb Plant was that round 9, I want to say.
Yeah, near enough. Saunders was
And I
round
think
8, wasn't it?
it was around then, and I think he doesn't often, once 11 to 12. I think that's when Canelo himself starts to slow down and feel the pace a bit more. So I would go round 9. Gone to my head.
Round 9. So I think from the platform that I'm using, seeing odds of 8 to 1 for round 9. I'm going to keep within my bet and go round 6 at 10 to 1. So similar-ish odds there, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Just hope it's a good fight as always. Hope it's a competitive fight to an extent. We'll see what happens. Danny, all the best for your betting tip. Won't wish you too much luck, but looking forward to catching up with you again on Saturday night as we touched on this fight. Yeah, all the best.
Thanks, mate. You too.